Welcome Jay's Spoiler Fast channel. Please subscribe. Ava and Harris decide to leave Salem when the former experiences visions of Susan, who isn't really dead, according to the Days of Our Lives recap for September 12, 2023. Highlights of the Days of Our Lives recap. Additionally, Wendy and Tripp's morning after the previous night is rudely disrupted. EJ complains about his best-laid intentions, Channel chooses between Johnny and Talia, and so on. Let's now examine the incident more closely. On Days of Our Lives up in Old Smoke recap. As their scant supplies ran out, Harris, Steve Burton, bravely offered to go get something else for him and Ava, Tamara Braun. However, before leaving the room, the two discussed who might have sent the assassin after Ava. Harris couldn't help but concur. Ava was certain it was EJ, Dan Furibel. Harris headed outside to go scavenging after deciding to locate Susan, Stacey Hayduck, and reunite her with her murderous son. Ava was forced to deal with a vision of Susan that was just as bothersome as the real thing, if not worse. The information Ava gathered included the fact that Spectre Susan, who may or may not be the actual Susan projecting herself into Ava's thoughts, genuinely yearned for Cool Ranch corn chips and that she was trapped someplace in Old Smoke. Harris mentioned that London used to be known as Old Smoke after returning and learning about events. Is it conceivable that Susan had somehow gotten over the English Channel? If so, why then was she being so cryptic? All of these inquiries are totally legitimate if you reside in Salem, USA. Recap of Days, full court press. At the Dinner Mansion, EJ yelled into his phone, demanding updates on the condition of his seriously hurt hired shooter from the lackey on the other end. When Johnny Carson Boatman came across his irate father, he questioned what was happening. That required EJ to describe how Ava had made her spectacular escape with Harris Michael's help, neatly omitting the fact that she was fleeing the assassin he had hired for the job. After giving that narrative point the proper lip service, EJ changed the subject to Johnny's love life. He was appalled to learn that his son had only given Channel, Raven Bowens, the contents of his heart before walking away. Dimmers never let others to determine their fate. They never take a chance on anything. He should go to Channel instead of waiting for her to come to him. Chanel, on the other hand, was upset with Paulina, Jackie Harry, about the bomb that Johnny had dropped on her. Why wait until now to express yourself? She is so sick of being a triangle's one side. Channel phoned Johnny and invited him to her, and her mother's, home with that sentiment in mind. Johnny was pleasantly delighted when Chanel announced that she was selecting him despite his certainty that he was in for a brutal dumping. Recap of DOL, Red Alert. Victoria Grace and Lucas Adams, Wendy and Tripp, despite their best attempts, were unable to continue enjoying the afterglow of the evening as a couple since Rafe, Galengering, kept knocking on their door to deliver the bad news about Ava's antics. Rafe could not help but agree with Tripp when he immediately claimed that EJ had ordered the murder of his mother. Eventually, a tip led the police to Ava and Harris' hotel room, which Rafe insisted on personally inspecting. At University Hospital, Jeddah, Elia Cantu gushed over her young sister and was thrilled that she had been hired to work there. Talia gushed over her new life after a few photos were taken and hugs were given. She was extremely fortunate to receive so many second chances.